Well, generally there is no any hard and fast rules. So, if you are in a temple where they are following Ekadashi prasadam, then you take Ekadashi prasadam. If you're in a temple where they're doing everything, then you take everything. Because it's not Ekadashi we are following. See, we are celebrating the wonderful appearance of Lord Narasimha Dev. Although he appeared in the morning, but we are fasting till evening. The reason is that is a time when he actually annihilated Hiranyakashipu. So we are celebrating that of victory over good or victory over evil by good. So when we celebrate that, it's a joyous affair. So sometimes they say, we take Ekadashi prasadam. Sometimes they say we take normal prasadam. So I would not to be too much caught up in that. I would just think that, okay, this is the mercy of the Lord, and whatever Lord gives me in His mercy, that is fine. So, because I've been to some temples where they just cook Ekadashi prasadam. But Lord Narasimha Dev do for everything. So I would say, well, why not I relish this prasadam? Because everything what is offered to Narasimha Dev, this is mercy. So otherwise, what will happen? You have to keep it, and then next day distribute. But then sometimes some preparations are perishable. So the next day they will go off. Or you have to put it in a freezer. Now, of course, now we have modern facility of freezer. But, in the bygone days, they didn't have any freezers. So these are technical things which you need to worry about so much. Although there is some GBC's resolution or instructions, guidelines, they're saying that all Vishnu avatars, we have to observe and take Ekadashi prasadam. But then you see, we just had Ramnami just a month back. And here at the manor, we had the full feast. So we were not doing Ekadashi prasadam. So it depends on the situation, as I said. But I will give 2 examples. Is that one, when we are observing Janmashtami, we kind of take Ekadashi prasadam. The reason is because after midnight, we are doing a second day fasting. The day before, we are doing Krishna Janmashtami fasting. The next day, we are doing fasting for Srila Prabhupada. So according to scriptures, you cannot do consecutive fast, one after the other. So you have to break your fast. So how you break your fast is you take Ekadashi prasadam. So in one sense, by taking Ekadashi prasadam, technically you're breaking your fast, but then otherwise you're still continuing your fast for honoring Srila Prabhupada. So that's the reason, I would say, logistic reason I can give you. And then, of course, on Gaur Purnima, you have to understand that when Lord Chaitanya appeared, it was the eclipse at the time. Now, just before the eclipse, all the food grains, everything in the house is cooked, is thrown away, because it is kind of said it has got some evil spirits in there, whatever, Now, when Jagannath Mishra was so joyous, but he could not feed everyone anything because all the foodstuffs were thrown away. But next day, he had what we call the Jagannath Mishra festival, when he was feeding all the villagers and brahmanas, and everyone came there with sumptuous feast in honor of Lord Chaitanya's appearance. So we are going in the same tradition that we observe fast till the moon rise, and then take little Ekadashi prasadam. The next day, we have a huge feast offered to Lord Chaitanya, and then we relish it. But then Ramachandra, you see, he was born in the midday. There was no eclipse or anything. So when he was born, King Dasarath, he was feeding everyone sumptuously. So it's not a problem. And then, of course, Narasimha Dev's, we are not having any effect of eclipse or any other situation. So evening time, you break your fast, feel free, as I say. I mean, I wouldn't be following, worried about too much this, because sometimes, too much rules, regulations also will disturb your bhakti.
Thank you, Maharaj. No, but as per the Vaishnava calendar, it is saying follow Ekadashi prasadam. That's why confusion, Maharaj.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that, GBC kind of made that kind of guideline resolution that all Vishnu avatars, you have to follow Ekadashi. But then you see your Vaman Dwadasi, although we fast the day before on Ekadashi, but then we feast next day. So that's the difference because it's Ekadashi, Dwadasi. Now, Ramachandra, we don't observe that. At least here at the manor we don't. Then there are many other avatars which we don't observe. Some of them we don't even observe at all. Like the, of the Dasa avatar. We don't observe all the 10 avatars, except for Kalki, which hasn't appeared yet. The other 9 have, but we don't observe them. Lord Buddha is considered one of the Dasa avatars. We don't celebrate Buddha Jayanti and celebrate and fast. So it is technically you can kind of say, personally I would say, what makes you comfortable in your area where you are, then you just go along with that. Important aspect is that at least if your health permits, you fast till the evening. But sometimes if the health is not permitting, then you have to eat something because you have to take some medication and so forth, or blood pressure may shoot up or sugar level may be going haywire. Then health-wise, then you don't have to follow these things. Because Krishna understands, that he's not, I would say, very cruel that, hey, rigid rules and regulations you must be abiding by. He's flexible. That's why you call him the loving God. Basically, you see, we break fast after sunset. Now, technically speaking, sunset is at different times. Right now, we are in England. Tomorrow, our sunset will probably be 9 o'clock at night. Because here, the way the earth is situated, that we, at 9 o'clock night is still bright, like, as if it is a midday. Sun hasn't even set. So, we can't go by that. Just, be reasonable that evening comes, and you just, at a reasonable time, you take breakfast. Because at different places, if you happen to be in Alaska, where the sun doesn't set at all, then what are you going to do? So we have to be practical.